As we take a live look inside the Capitol this morning, happening now, lawmakers in the midst of a classified briefing on Operation Epic Fury as things are right up to those escalators. The closed-door meeting comes as the U.S. military campaign against Iran continues, and lawmakers press for more details about the strategy and the timeline here. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly says he plans to ask defense officials about specific targets and the cost of the war.
Certainly about the girls' school that was hit by a tomahawk. The president has given some statements that just don't make a lot of sense about possibly the Iranians having a tomahawk missile. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's talking about. But also about the desalinization plant, other targets, and then interceptor rounds compared to what they have in the case of ballistic missiles and drones.
So a lot of questions. Let's go to NewsNation's Joe Khalil live for us on Capitol Hill. You were talking to lawmakers as they headed into this briefing. What are some of their main concerns right now?
What struck me right away was that Democrats and Republicans, when you cut through the sort of partisanship stuff, have the same basic questions for these briefers about what comes next in Iran. You just heard Senator Kelly there talking about the strike on that girls' school. We heard that from several senators as well. They want to know how the targets and locations were picked there. I also talked to Republican Senators Deb Fischer and Joni Ernst, both of whom said that they have questions about the next steps. I asked Senator Fischer whether she thought, as President Trump suggested yesterday, that we were closer to the end of this conflict or war than we were farther away from it. And her response was interesting. She said, I don't have anything to judge that right now, and neither do any of my colleagues, which again sounds like a want for more information, which is hopefully what senators are going to get today. Now, this is the Armed Services Committee, remember, so they have obviously their work is specifically tailored to what the military is doing. There are a lot of questions about munitions, whether the U.S. needs to restock its supply, whether it's being depleted. A lot of questions about what the next goals are, how much this conflict is costing on a day-to-day basis, and they want some clarity on whether this is actually coming to an end sooner or whether they should be bracing for a more prolonged conflict. Take a listen to what Senator Ernst told us, particularly at the end of this soundbite here.
We want to make sure that the American public knows that we regard the lives of those service members as absolutely precious, and we honor their service. And we're thankful that we do have a president that wants to get this war, all of these operations over very, very quickly.
So she says, the president wants to end this very quickly. And again, he did suggest that we are potentially nearing a close yesterday, but there was also some mixed messaging. So it's not exactly clear what the timeline is going to be. And clearly, as you hear from senators, that is going to be a concern, a question they will ask. Marni, I just want to also leave you with the fact that we're talking about sleeper cells today and whether that is a real threat to the homeland. Our Allie Bradley has done extensive reporting about potential threats from Iran that have come through the southern border. We've asked whether this is a serious concern, whether this is something that lawmakers are getting briefed on. We were told by Senator Blumenthal, a Democrat, that his concern is whether local law enforcement and federal law enforcement are talking to each other, communicating, sharing resources, because there is a possibility that would be the best way to sort of nip those kinds of threats in the bud. And he says that needs to be a priority, something he may very well be asking about in the briefing happening right now.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.